Alrighty, perfect. So today is November 21st, 2024. We just had a bomb cyclone come through the Seattle area. For those of you who live here, weather has been a little bit wild, but we are getting through it. Today, like I said, we're going to be going over pivot tables. Pivot tables are used to analyze large bulk data in Microsoft Excel. So we've gone through this, but today we're going to be just looking at a data set that has over 500,000 lines in it, 500,000 rows. Obviously, you can never manually review that. And so I wanted to take some time today, and I wrote down a bunch of questions that we are going to go through and answer on our own and together. And we'll work our way through this and display some of the things that we've learned. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So you should see what we're going to be doing today right now. So it says November 29th, or 1921-23, today being the 21st. This is our agenda. So I'm going to open up a spreadsheet called Walmart sales data. Again, that table and that spreadsheet is going to have over 500,000 lines in it. And we are going to use that table and answer these questions here below using pivot tables. So the first question is going to be, what age group purchased the highest value of products and what was the total? So let me go ahead and bring my screen over. Just give me 1 second. Just kind of get everything arranged here. Let's go ahead and share this screen. All right. And you guys can now see the Walmart data, correct?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So I'll go like this. I'll zoom in a little bit. So let's just get a little bit familiar with the data, first of all. So you can see we have some columns here. We have a column for user ID. So that is what we called a unique identifier. So each customer, so think of this as customer ID. Matter of fact, I'll change it. We'll call that customer ID. So customer ID is just like when you have an account anywhere, like Amazon or anywhere, you have a number that is your customer ID number. When you go to Fred Meyer, for instance, you probably have your phone number is your customer ID. And that's why you log into that system right before you check out. So they want to be able to track who you are in your purchasing habits. And so customer ID is how companies do that. So here, you can see these are the same customer ID. So the same customer placed these 4 orders here. So we're looking at Walmart data, and it's just fake data. This is not real data, but it's nice to be able to use this data to do our work today. So in this particular case, customer 1001 bought this product, this product, this product, and then here's their information about the customer, their gender, their age group, their occupation number. So probably somewhere, maybe there's a legend that says occupation 10 is accountant or something like that. Their city category, right? So they live in a category A city, which might be like a New York or Los Angeles. Maybe a C is like a Tacoma, a smaller city, and maybe a B is like a Seattle, like a mid-sized city. How long have they been in the city? Their marital status. So in this case, when you see a 0 and a 1, that's like saying false is a 0 and a 1 would be true. So that's in computer language. Normally a 0 is false and a 1 is true. So in this case, when you see marital status as a column and you see 0 as the value, that means that that person's not married. And you see a 1 for marital status, that would mean that they are married. Product category, this would be like at Walmart. You guys know Walmart. They have a ton of different product categories. So let's say like category 3 might be groceries, 12 might be toys, 8 might be electronics, and 1 might be women's apparel, something like that. So they have numbers associated with each department or each product category. And then we have over here, of course, the most important thing is the value of the purchase. So let's look at this first record, this first row. So what is it saying? It's saying that customer 1001 purchased this product right here, product 69042. The customer is a female, 0 to 17 age range. Their occupation is 10. They live in city A. They've been there for about 2 years. They're not married. The product category was 3, whatever that is. and then their purchase value was $8,000, $370. Okay. So that's how we read the data. Let's just get a little bit more familiar. So we can see here, we have row 1. And if I, using my keyboard, and I want to show this to you all, the easiest way to find out how many rows you have, let me just go to keyboard here, pull up my keyboard. So if I put my mouse here at the first record at A2, and then I hit Shift, Control, and down, so Shift plus Control and the down arrow all at the same time, and watch what it does. It goes all the way down and it shows me how many records we have. How many records do we have? Can anybody see that number right there? 550,069 records. Okay, 550,069 records. So that highlights all of the rows. Now to get, and as you guys know, when we do a pivot table, you have to highlight all the data. So now I want to highlight all the columns to the right. So to do that, again, Shift, Control, and now I'm going to hit the right arrow. And did you see what it did? It highlighted now all the columns. So we have all of our columns. We have all of our columns highlighted, and we have all of our rows highlighted. Okay. So, and again, I did that with Shift, Control Shift down. From here, Control Shift down, Control Shift right. Okay. I'm letting a couple people in really quick. So just give me a second. All right, here we go. Any questions about that so far?
Nope.
All righty. I'm just looking at I just still have people coming into the room, just making sure I get everybody in. I don't want to miss anybody. Okay. All right. So our first question here, I'll bring it over. Our first question is, and I'll put it in the chat, is what age group purchased the highest value of products and what was the total? Okay, so this one right here, what age group purchased the highest value of products and what was the total? So we know we have different age groups right here, and we have our product purchase. So to do that manually would obviously be a very, very hard task. So let's go ahead and do a pivot table. I'm going to go all the way back up to the top. I'm going to hit Shift Control down, Shift Control right. I'm going to go to Insert here. And then I'm going to do a pivot table. I'm going to make a different tab for every question today, just to make sure we keep our tabs separate. So instead of putting our pivot table on the existing worksheet, I want to do a new worksheet. I'm going to hit OK. And it created a new sheet. I'm just going to move it over here. And I'm going to rename it question 1. Okay. All right. So we have our pivot table. What was the question again? It was, what age group purchased the highest value of products and what was the total? Does anybody want to give it a quick try, or do you want me to do the first one? All right, I'll do the first one. Sounds good. So what age group purchased the most? So the first thing we want to do is what do we want to on the rows? We want the rows, because we have columns, values, rows, and filters. So we don't really want a filter. We just want the ages. So I'm going to bring age down to here into the rows and see what it did. It made each one of the unique age groups is now a row. Each one of the unique age groups is a row here. So we have age group 0 to 17, 18 to 25, 26 to 35, and so on. Okay. Second here. Sorry, guys. I'm getting some messages in WhatsApp, and it looks like people may be trying to get in class. 1 second. Okay, and so I brought age over here to the rows. And now the next thing we want to know is we just want to know which age group had the most, right? So then what is the second thing we need to know is how much did each age group purchase, right? So I'm going to just bring purchase, I'm going to click it and drag it down to values. And then there we go. We have our numbers. So 0 to 17, they purchased 134, looks like 134 million. But we got 2 billion purchased by the age group 26 to 35. So to make this look a little easier to read, I'm going to sort it actually. So I'm going to go to row labels. I'm going to do sort options right here. But I'm going to sort in descending order, descending being highest to lowest, because we want to be able to see the highest to the lowest in order. And do I want to have the age range in descending order, or do I want the highest purchase value in descending order? We want the purchase value, the one that's the highest at the top. So we're going to do descending order on this column. And I'm going to hit OK. And look what it did. It rearranged the age groups and it put the highest one on the top and the lowest one on the bottom. So looking at this pivot table, who can tell me who is the lowest purchasing age group at Walmart according to this data?
0 to 17.
0 to 17 with 134 million. Who's the highest purchasing age group?
Age 26 to 35.
26 to 35. So there's our answer for question 1 right there. So I'll bring it back up and let's write it in here. So we're going to say age group 26 to 35, and then ask what was their total. I'll just estimate it. I'll say 2.031. I'll just go and write the whole thing, 770,578. Okay, so that is our first answer right there. Questions on how we got to that? I know pivot tables are not easy, but this is a very basic one. It just asks a very basic question. But isn't it nice that it can take 550,000 rows, all this data, it can do a pivot table and make it look very simple. Okay. Very, very powerful tool that can help. Okay. Okay. Let's look at the next question. Of that total, how much was purchased by married couple? Right? So of that total, so of the 2 billion, it wants to know how much of that was purchased by married couples. So within the 26 to 35-year-old range, they bought 2 billion. How much of those folks were married or not married? Any thoughts on how we want to do that? Do we need to create a new table, or do you guys think we can use the same pivot table but just add something to it?
You can use the same one, but use filter and click on marital status.
I like that. I like that. That's definitely something we can do. So you said we can bring marital status down to filter.
Mhm.
Perfect. And then the thing with marital status and filters, you don't filter over here. You just tell it you want to filter on that value. But now over here, you'll see we have this drop down called marital status. And right now we're looking at all values under marital status. So if we only want to see the status of 26 to 35-year-olds married, let's just click marital status 1 for true, right? Because the question was asking how much was purchased by married people. Yep. So we want to click on marital status and click only when the value is 1 being true, we want to see those numbers. Boom. Marital status equals 1, which is true. Age group 26 to 35. The answer is 798,000. I'm going to just write it in here. 740,476,476. Okay. I like it. I'm going to show you guys one secondary way we could also do that. If I bring marital status back up, I can also just bring marital status in as a column. And you only want to use columns if there's limited values, right? Because we know marital status only has a 0 and a 1, it's not going to add so many. If there were 18 different marital statuses, you might not want to bring it into columns. It would be easier to do that filter. But we can also see it here, right? 26 to 35, unmarried, purchased 1.2 billion, and married, purchased 798,440. The number's the same. We just got to it a different way. Does that make sense, guys?
It makes sense.
Yeah. But again, like, so let's say again, because marital status is easy, it's nice and clean, and it's not too big of a deal. What we wouldn't want to bring down is something like customer ID into columns, or even product category. See how it just goes on like forever? That's a little bit too much, right? Because now it's breaking down product category, age 26, product category 2, etc. So to me, that's a little bit too much. Okay, perfect. I think there was maybe a third question there. Oh, and then it says, create a bar graph to display the results. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the original one we did where we brought marital status over here is a column. And let's kind of play with this and see what we get. So this is going to be age group. And then that's marital status 0. So we'll call that unmarried, married. Let's kind of play with this and see what we get. So I'm going to highlight this. Now there's a reason I'm not highlighting this, because this is a summary column, right? So if we were graphing, we don't want a graph that includes, right, like the total. We want a graph to show age group this, unmarried this, and that, right? So this is the raw data that we want right here. So I'm going to click on that, and let's just kind of see what we get. So I'm going to go to insert. Let's look at a recommended chart, and let's just do a bar chart, something like that. I'm going to hit OK, and let's see what we get. So we're looking at marital status. So we could filter just to unmarried or married. I'll just leave them both on for now. And look, we got age group 26 to 35. So marriage, what we see on our table, right? Age group 26 to 35, 26 to 35, purchased 1.2 billion for unmarried. So which color is unmarried? Blue. Boom, right there. And then orange shows for age group 26 to 35, they purchased just under 800 million. Okay. So I would say that we have completed this one. So I'll just move that down there. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you guys can see all of the results. That's pretty cool that we got all of our data there. So yep, so we got it done. Again, if we just wanted to filter here, we could just look at married couples. And it just gets rid of the red one. So now we're just looking at married couples by age group. If we want to see both, go to unmarried. Now it shows both. Any questions on the graph in the chart? Again, this is not intended that you can do this tomorrow. I really just want to demonstrate the power of pivot tables today and just show you guys some things. But this would be a great review and a YouTube video that we'll have posted shortly for you guys to be able to go back and review and see how we did some of these things, and then try and do it on your own.
What,
All right.
Eric, you can do the chart again?
Yeah, I can do the chart again, so I'm going to delete it. So the chart, again, I didn't include this because this is all summary stuff.
Okay.
Like all of that is summary stuff, right? You want it to display the raw data. And the raw data is I got these age groups, and I got within that age group, unmarried and married people. And I want to see this displayed on a chart, right? So you just have to kind of know a little bit about charts to know you don't want to ever include like that. I'll show you what would happen if we included some of this. Let's just try and see. Insert, recommended. So it actually removed it on its own. Interesting. It knew that this was summary value. So I selected everything,
Yeah.
but notice that it still kept the same numbers because it knew that this was a totals. So it's actually smarter than I thought it was. So that's pretty cool. So did you see what I did though? I just selected the data from age group over. And then we went to insert, recommended charts. And I'm just gonna do a normal basic one. We can do like a 3D one too. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. Oh. So there you go. So you can do a 3D one like that if you want. It's a little bit kind of cool. Okay. I'm gonna right click and just add some data labels. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So we're good to go. Any questions on the chart there? No. All right. Let's go ahead to the next one. So we'll say done here. All right. So the next question, and I'd like for one of you guys to try this one. We're going to create a brand new pivot table. And the question is, who were the top 3 customer IDs? So who are our top 3 customers according to the data based on their purchase history? And how much did they each purchase? All right. So let me put that in the chat. There you go. All right. So to start off, who remembers how to highlight all the data? I need a volunteer to take lead on this one. We're trying to find our top 3 customers and how much they purchased.
You want to highlight the customer IDs by using Shift Control down.
Okay. And then Shift Control right. Okay. Then what do we do?
Insert a pivot table.
Yep. New worksheet. Sound good to you?
Sounds good.
Thanks, Becca. All right. I'm going to move that over and we're going to rename it question 2. All right. And what do we do from here? So again, the question being, who were the top 3 customer IDs or user IDs and how much did they purchase?
You want to put customer ID in growth and then purchase in value.
Exactly. You got it. And then purchase and values. So now it's just taking all of the data. Because again, going back to the Walmart data, we can see even right here at the top, this customer had multiple purchases, right? So going back, we see that it now is adding up for each customer, their total purchase history. Now, one thing we haven't done a lot of, and I'm going to show it here, is we have a lot of customers, it looks like, right? Like, look at how small this is. I can go down. We have thousands of different customers. We have about 5,800 or so customers. So it's kind of hard to find the biggest one without manually scrolling to figure out who it is. So we're going to do what we did in the last one. What do we do in the last one? Do you remember, Becca, how we sorted it to get the biggest one at the top and then have it go in reverse order?
No, I don't remember.
Not a problem. So right
You can right
here,
click.
yeah, so row label.
Okay, well, and
Deborah,
then-
do you remember? Yeah.
Yes,
And then what do
we
we do?
go sort
Which one of these do we pick? Remember?
and larger to smaller.
Let's try it. So in that case, what it did is sorted on this row, right? So it gave me the biggest customer ID, but I want the customer that has the most purchases. So it naturally, if you use these two here, it's only going to sort on this column.
Oh,
Okay. So smallest is going to give you the first customer all the way down to the oldest customer, right? Largest is going to give you your quote unquote newest customer because they have the biggest customer ID,
Maybe we
etc.
need to go to, if you scroll down, more sort options.
Yes, there you go. Sort options.
And
And then
then
it
from
brings
here,
this
we
up.
can go as descend, well,
And then descending, but instead of on customer ID, because we don't want reverse order by
Okay.
customer ID, we want
we
it
can
by
go
purchase.
purchase.
There you go. Exactly. And now it is sorting by highest customer to lowest. Everybody see that? Isn't that cool? I think it's cool. So who's our top 3 customers? These guys right here, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, sometimes you might want to even go a little further and do like I'll show you kind of another way to do it. You can also come here, over here where it says sum of purchase. You can come here and do value field settings. And let's see, I haven't messed with this in a little bit. We can do, hold on 1 second. Oh, okay, here we go. This is where I wanted to be. So here we can also do a value filter. Because again, this is the values, right? Value filter, and you can do top 10. And it says, what do you want to filter? You want to do purchase, and maybe you want to see the top 3. Let's try it. There you go. So again, we did filter, value filter, and we clicked on the one that said top 10, but then it gives you options. Do you want to see the top 3, the top 5, whatever? Let's just say top 3. We hit OK, and it gives us our top 3 customers by purchase history. Okay. Now, companies are doing stuff like this all day long, y'all. There's people whose full-time job is to analyze business records because it informs decision makers on what to do, right? A decision maker might say, hey, we're going to have a contest, and whoever our biggest customer is for the month of February, we're going to give them a brand new car, right? Great. Well, we just figured out who our top customers were using a pivot table. And this is a whole lot easier to look at than this, right? So let's go back and say these are our customers. So I just copied that, and our top 3 customers, I'm just going to paste it here. There you go. All right, what's the next question? What were the top 3 selling products? So it's going to be a similar question. What were the top 3 selling products, and how much in sales did each have? All right. Deborah, I'm going to let you take the lead on this one. Jack, by the way, Becca, good job. Very good. All right. So, Deborah, for this one, we want to know what were the top 3 selling products for Walmart based on this data. What are the first thing we do?
We can go into select all.
Yep.
Be on
So shift control
shift
down,
control down,
shift control right.
right,
Mm-hmm.
and then insert,
Insert.
pivot,
Brand
and
new worksheet, right?
brand new, yes.
No, I'm just gonna move it over here and do question 3. So I'm right clicking on there and just doing rename just to give it something that's easy to remember. Question 3. All right. And what do we do from here? We want to know the top sellers, the top products that sold. So where do
You
we go?
can click on product ID,
Product ID is rows.
rows,
Okay.
and purchase
And then purchase as what?
as value.
Yes. There we go. So now we have all of our products and the total that was purchased of each product. Where do we want to go from here to now see the top 3?
We're gonna go raw labor and we scroll down. And we're gonna go value filter
Okay.
and top 10 down there.
Okay.
And instead of 10, we're gonna do 3
You are a quick learner.
and then okay.
Boom.
Yeah.
Done. Good job. So these are our top 3 products. Why might that be important to a business to know what their best selling products are? Anybody got questions or thoughts on that?
To know what they should repurchase and put on their shelves.
Yeah, those are things they can probably, if you're talking about inventory, they can confidently purchase those products in bulk, which means that they're going to be able to get a better discount because just like everything, the more you purchase, the bigger your discount, right? If they can go to the supplier and say, hey, give me 1,000,000 units of that, that supplier is going to give them a really nice discount and they can confidently know that they're going to be able to sell it because based on data that they have, they know that those products sell and it's their best sellers. Okay. What about if you were designing a Walmart? Has anybody ever realized that anytime you go into a grocery store, the things that you need the most, where are they? Are they in the front of the store, the back of the store, the middle of the store?
Front of the store at eye level.
Front of the store, eye level. I like that eye level part. That's good. Um, do you often need milk, cheese, and eggs? And where are they located in the grocery store?
In the back.
In the back. Why are they in the back?
To make you go through the whole store.
To make you walk through the whole store.
So yeah.
Exactly. There is I'm sure there's people who study this, but they design stores so that the products that you need the most, they put them in the back because it makes you walk past everything else that they want to sell you. Because they put all the good stuff up front, guess what you're going to do? You're going to grab it, you're going to go check out, and you're not going to see the other 80% of the store. So if I were designing a Walmart, let's say this is cheese, eggs, and milk. I'm going to put all that stuff in the back of the store and I'm going to make you walk past the jewelry. I'm going to make you walk past the electronics section. I'm going to make you walk past pens and paper and candy because I know your kids are probably going to want some candy. I'm going to put all the stuff that I want to sell to your kids on the way to the eggs and the milk in the back because that gives that stuff a better chance to sell. Okay. And all of this is based off of data analytics. All of this is based off of data. And so companies use data to, again, inform their decision making. It's called data science. And again, using information that is readily available, they can predict what's going to happen in the future. And it's not even a prediction, it's a really highly, highly educated and informed decision making, right? And the more information you have, this is why companies love your information. This is why when you check out at Walmart or Fred Meyer, especially Safeway, places like that, what do they always want you to do? Oh, put in your phone number. so we can track your information, because every time you put in your phone number, they're getting a little bit more information on your purchase history. What kind of things do you like? What time do you come into the store? Do you come in the morning? Do you come in the afternoon? Which locations are you shopping at? Do you shop at the one in Federal Way or the one in Auburn? Do you shop in Covington? Right? So when as you're traveling around, if you put that phone number in at a store you don't normally go to, that informs them on kind of where you spend your time. So all of this is important data that they love to track, because it lets them know their customer a little bit better. It also honestly helps keep your account secure. If you always shop in Washington, um, and there's data on your Amazon account that says you normally are at an IP address in Washington State, and then all of a sudden there's a login to your Amazon account from an IP Internet Protocol address in Nigeria, that might be suspicious to Amazon, and they're probably going to flag your account for security check, right? So again, that's just using data, because it knows what normal looks like on your account, and when it sees things that are not normal, it flags it, and then you have to do like a two-factor authentication where you get the code on your phone, because they want to verify it's you because you have a suspicious login. Has that ever happened for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, happens all the time, right? Yeah, especially if you have someone else log into your account, because it won't even recognize the device, and they'll say, "Oh, we've never even seen this device before." They're especially careful of that type of stuff with bank accounts. They use a lot of data to understand what a normal login on your account looks like versus a suspicious one. Okay, of the total, which range purchased the most of the three? Which age range purchased the most of the products? So again, here, in the interest of time, I'm just going to kind of do this one and finish up. So of these three products, it wants to know which age group purchased the most of each. Easy. We just bring age group down into columns. I'll spread it out a little bit so we can see. And for this product, which age group purchased the most?
55. Oh, no.
26 to 35.
36 to
26.
35.
Yeah, exactly. 10 million. Yep. Let's see. For the second one, it actually looks pretty similar. 26 to 35. And then for the last one, 26 to 35 also. Yep. Yep. So 26 to 35 seems to be the sweet spot for people shopping at Walmart, according to this data. Anyway. Okay. All right. And I'm going to write the answer there. And then it says, how could we use this information for marketing purposes? Again, knowing that these are our top selling products and the people that are buying it are 26 to 35. If you were in marketing at Walmart, in this case, how might that affect your decision making on how to market to those people? How would you use this information?
Maybe use a census of how many people in that age range are in the area.
Okay, how about if I was the marketing person and I know that these are my top selling products and I know that the people buying it are 26 to 35, maybe I would spend my marketing budget at places I think that they're at. Where can I market to 26 to 35-year-olds? Where are they at on the weekend or after work? Maybe a sporting event, maybe hiking or skiing, maybe they are in a bar. And so you just kind of understand again your customer and your demographics. And then it helps you again market to them where they're at. Maybe they're at the gym a lot. I don't know, I'm not 26, 35 anymore, but people that are 26, 35 often do a lot of the same thing. They're outdoors and doing like activities and so forth. And you now know that this is the people that you want to be marketing to and their age group. And so that can affect how you set up your marketing plan and where you spend your money. All right. Cool. All right. Next one. What percentage, and I'd like a different volunteer for this one. What percentage of the orders went to city category B? So this one's a little bit different. We're going to do a percentage. So we're going to look at it a little bit different. Anybody want to take a stab at this one? I'll help you through it if you get stuck. Nobody? Okay. I'll go ahead and take the lead on this one then. So what percentage of the orders went to city category B? I'm going to go back to a Walmart data. I'm going to select it all. Oh, 1 second. I'm going to do insert pivot table. Okay. And then I'm going to bring down city category as the row. And then I'm going to bring down purchases. So we know about that, right? So we know we've got 3 city categories. Let's say, A is probably large cities like a New York or Los Angeles. B might be a mid-sized city like a Seattle, and C might be a small city like Tacoma or something like that. And so in this case, Walmart is analyzing where most of their sales in big cities, medium cities, or small cities. It looks like it's in city B, right? So city size B. So let's go back and look at the question. It said what percentage though of the orders went. So we said we have a whole value here. We want this in percentage, right? So these 3, because there's only 3 values, obviously these 3 should add up to 100%. So in this case, instead of a sum of purchase, we can go over here to sum of purchase. There's a little arrow here, over here. I'm going to click that. And I'm going to do value field settings. So this is where we can play with it and have it do a little bit of work for us. We're still on sum, but we want to show the value as a percentage of grand total. I'm going to do that again. So where we have sum of purchase, we want it to change it to a percentage. We don't want the whole value. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to click value field settings. That's going to bring me here where I can summarize values so I could count, average. I don't want to do any of that. I just wanted to show as a percentage instead of a whole value. So we're going to show value as, and then I'm going to do percent of grand total. I'm going to hit OK. And there we go. So we have 3 cities and 41.52% of sales went to city category B. Pretty cool. There you go. And then 32% to C and 25% to A. Again. Now, again, why might this be important to someone that's trying to determine where do they want to put their next Walmart? Why might this be important? What city do they want to look at if they want to maximize profitability? A city category A, city category B, or city category C? City category B, right? Because that's where they tend to have better sales at, is when there is a city size B. 41.52% is where their sales at. So it looks like those are the cities they tend to have better sales in. So if you're looking to put down the next Walmart, and again, companies use this type of data all the time. They don't just place businesses in random locations. They know their customers and they have a pretty good idea that it's going to be successful before they put it there. Okay. So 41.52%. Just 1 second, guys. All right, let's go to the next one. We got a few minutes left here. Which product categories sold the least? Okay, let's take a look at that one. Okay, this is question 5. All right, let's go to which product category sold the least. So product category again is like, eggs or like groceries, electronics, clothing, whatever the category is. So I'm going to select all the data again. Oh, I kind of messed that one up. Let's try that again. And I'm going to go to insert pivot table, new one. Question 6. Move it on over here. All right, so it wants to know which product category sold the least. So I'm going to bring product category down to rows. We're going to bring down purchases. And again, we want to see which one sold the least. So we can do it in reverse order, just like we did earlier. So let's see, instead of top 10, can we do bottom? Yes, we can. Look at that. So we can do a value filter, top 10, but instead of top, we're going to do bottom. And what was the question? Which product categories sold the least? Let's look at the bottom 10. So let's see. Yeah, it looks like your bottom 10 are those, and let's just put them in order too. Descending by this. I'm going to actually do it from A to Z this time because we do actually want to see the lowest one at the top. So what is your worst selling product category at this Walmart? What are your top 2 worst selling product categories based on this data?
19.
19 and 20.
Yep.
So if you're an executive and you were looking to cut costs, things that aren't selling, where might you start? Product categories 19 and 20. Companies do it all the time. Hey, we decided that selling clothes isn't profitable. We're cutting that part of our store out. We're going to just focus on groceries, right? And that's because they run analytics and they can start to see, oh, these product categories aren't profitable. We're going to cut them and focus where we do make money. All right. Perfect. All right. I'm going to go ahead and